we're still waiting, unless I missed it, for the Third Circuit Court to say that you can or can't wager on sports. And the rhetoric out there is that Monmouth Park will be the first one that's ready. They got the machines in there. They have no other outside interest with it, worry about it, that they'll go day one. Not competitive to you yet. Are you guys in a position, especially now that MGM has taken the rest of its share of the property, that if the Third Circuit Court says you can legally wager on sports, how long would it be before you can do that here?
It would probably be months before we would be able to do it. Candidly, I don't think anybody is all that optimistic on this Third Circuit decision. What has happened, however, in the world of sports wagering is at the federal level, it's starting to thaw.
It is.
Yeah, you know.
So in our lifetime, you do think it'll happen?
David Stern, yeah, I think there's been a lot of movement at the federal level, which was what nobody expected, right? I mean, everybody thought New Jersey was going to have to, carve this path, but it's looking like it's going to come out federally in more like years than months.
Right.
But so we're really not that bullish on what's going to happen out of the Third Circuit.
Okay.
Because we're just not getting great signals. If it happens, we'll have to actually build out a space and do some work. So that would be months to do. But
and how about the fantasy stuff? Will you guys be all over it this fall?
This fall, we won't be all over fantasy. There's just too much uncertainty about it, and where you can really take wagers from, and what states think you can take wagers, and if you're involved in fantasy. And we have gaming licenses.
Sure.
Right? So we have to protect gaming licenses, and we have to protect them nationwide. So if, New York decides that it's gambling and you can't take the bet from New York, now we have to somehow fence that out. So we're just not in a position to jump into that business until that whole thing shakes out. So we'd love to be.
Sure,
we'd love to be.
Does it bother you the hypocritical nature of the NFL owners, where on one hand they'll invest in fantasy sports, fantasy draft, FanDuel, all that kind of stuff, and then the other hand they're saying, we don't want gambling in the state of New Jersey because of the impact that it possibly could have on our games?
It doesn't bother me. It makes me go absolutely crazy.
It does.
Scream and have tantrums. So no, it's unbelievable that they could take that position. Why you would think that placing a bet on the game would have any less ability to influence the outcome of a game than fantasy?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense.
So
at
when
all.
you hear Roger Goodell up there talking about how this is a great thing and they're sponsoring all of this stuff and they're a part of us, and our owners are actually have money invested in these companies. I mean,
personal money?
Yeah, personal money.
Yeah.
How do you or how can they justify that?
Well, they can't, and I think that's a part of the reason why you're going to see sports betting thaw at the federal level.